Pirates Island Brig. This is BlueBrixx set 105328. It was released in June 2023 for about €75. This construction block set consists of 1,626 pieces. The bricks in the set are compatible to bricks by other companies like Lego, Kobe, Mega, and so on. This is a BlueBrixx special set, so unlike the Pro sets, it just comes in this quite boring box. There is no fancy box design. Also, there are no printed building instructions. You have to download them as a PDF file from the BlueBrixx servers. Another thing about the special sets is that in most cases, and also in this case, the bags in which the bricks come in are unnumbered. That means there are no building sections. I recommend to open every bag and sort all the bricks by type before you start with the building process. This will cost a lot of time in the beginning, but it will help you later on. It will save a lot of time because you won't have to search for an individual brick at each building step. The BlueBrixx pirate-themed world consists of two fractions. So we got the Governor's Island, and we got the Pirates Island. This set here is part of the Pirates Island. Each of those sub-themes, there are several sets for each of those sub-themes, and I showed you all the sets which are available so far in previous videos. And now we got one more set for the Pirates Island, the Brig. It doesn't mean that you have to strictly keep sets of the Pirates Island away from sets of the Governor's Island. Those two sub-themes are in the same world, so you can combine them, or you can play with each of those sets combined. For example, in this promotional image here, we can see that the brick we want to build here, which is part of the Pirates Island, is attacking the Governor's Island. I don't have much knowledge about ships, but here is one thing that threw me off a bit. So the English title of the set is Brig. That means the ship is a brig, yeah. But when we have a look at the German title here, which is printed on the box, it says Brigantine, which is German for brigantine. And a brigantine is another type of ship than a brig. The sails are attached differently to the ship, as far as I know. Well, I don't know if we got here a brig or a brigantine. Which title is correct, the German one or the English one? We will see when we have completed the build, I think. Okay, then it's time to open the box. So, these are all the bags which were in the box. And yeah, there are quite a few bricks to sort. What I really like are these huge parts here. I haven't used them since the 90s, I think. That was the last time that I bought a construction blocks ship. This string here came loose in the box, but I think we will need this too. And we also got these two cardboard things here, which are stapled together. Inside this packaging here, I think we will find our BlueBrixx sails. Yeah. And I also downloaded the building instructions. And here we can clearly see that's a brig and not a brigantine. If it was a brigantine, the sails back here, I think, should go all in this direction, not like this. Alright, then I'm going to sort my bricks now. And then I will start with step 1. I will come back to you when I see something interesting. Step 5. I have put together all pieces of the hulk, and well, the pieces aren't of the best quality. You can see here that there are some big scratches. That doesn't look too nice. And also these bricks got some ugly injection holes. Or have a look at this brick here. These are real injection craters. I wish the BlueBrixx special sets, or more of the BlueBrixx special sets, had those bricks with those nice injection points which are more or less invisible, but these bricks here have clearly extremely visible injection holes. That's just ugly. Step 20. We are building right now a jail door, I think, and we need 4 of those bars for that. But how do we know how long these bars are? Well, we got this indicator down here, but having this indicator in a digital instruction doesn't make any sense. When it's printed, you can hold a bar on top of the bars in the instruction, and when it's the same size, you are correct. But how do I know how far I have to zoom in a digital instruction? This doesn't make sense at all. Well, luckily we only got 4 of those dark gray bars in one length included in the set, and so this doesn't matter, but that's a bit stupid. Step 30. I just have placed these 1x1 plates on top of these arches here, and I noticed that there are color differences. So both of these, or all 3 of these pieces, should be in reddish brown, but when you look closely, the arch is a tiny bit lighter than the plates. We already have done that in the step before, but I didn't notice it at that moment. The difference isn't big, but it is there. I think it isn't too visible on camera, but when you see it in reality under the light, there are clearly different shades of brown here. Step 53. The instructions are really crystal clear here. We have to use 10 of these pieces and 20 of these tiles here, and normally you run quite easily into the problem that you can't distinguish flat silver from light bluish gray or dark brown from reddish brown. But they avoided this problem here by simply writing down which color each of those pieces is. So the tiles are in dark brown and these things here are in flat silver. That's cool. Step 63. One of the pieces we use in the step is this baguette here. I haven't seen this brick before, and so I looked it up at BrickLink, and there I could read that it is in use since 1982. And that was quite strange to me that I don't know such an old piece. Well, when I looked closely, I could see that in the 80s it was only used in 1982, and in the 90s it appeared only in Scala and Belleville sets. You know, those Barbie-like Lego sets. And yeah, then again it appeared in 2010, and since then it is in regular use. It's a cool little brick, and now our pirates got some food. Step 65. In this step we have to use a Technic axle. And once again I have the problem that I don't know how long this thing should be. So we got this box up here which tells us that we can hold the axle next to the image, and when it's the same size we are correct. But this doesn't work properly with digital building instructions because we can zoom in and out and the instructions doesn't know how large our display is. Maybe we can work with it because the width is always the same. So when we say it is as wide as the axle, then the length should be correct too. But that's quite annoying, I think. But now I noticed this number 4 here. I haven't thought about it in the previous step where we had to place a bar, but I think the circle here is supposed to be a stud, and the 4 means that the axle is 4 studs long. So let's have a look. These are all the different sizes of axles that are included in the set. And now let's see if we got an axle which is 4 studs long. This is 3 studs. Yeah, this is 4 studs long. Now let's stick it in this thing here. And let's have a look if it looks correct. Yeah, it looks quite close to what we got here. This should be alright. Ha! Great. The instructions are better than I thought. I just have to understand them. Step 66. This isn't the first chain that we use in the set, but I just want to mention how cool it is that we got a pre-assembled chain here. In other BlueBrixx sets, also in pirate sets, we had to assemble the chains first. So we had to connect all those links to each other. And this wasn't really the nicest building experience. Actually, it was quite terrible because those links were very fragile and I broke several of them when assembling those chains. And now we got a pre-assembled chain. This is really cool. It saves a lot of time and the thing is much more sturdy. Step 92. In this step we have placed the base, which will later hold the bowsprit, just like this. And I really like how this is done. So first of all we got this lower part here which is attached to the ship's hulk, and then we got this little segment here, and when we combine those two things we have created this angle here, and now we can place the bowsprit later like this, and it will perfectly stay in this angle here. That's great. I really like this idea. Step 146. I have placed now all 6 windows that came with the set, and sadly I have to say that 4 of those 6 windows are quite floppy. So you can see just by moving our build, those 2 windows here open. One of these windows opens too, and on this side also one of the windows opens. I wish they were better quality. I hope we won't run into problems with these windows here in the back, because those are placed in a slight angle, and that means that they are facing downwards, and so they might stay open the whole time, and I don't think this will look too good, but we will see. Okay, I just moved the 2 working windows here to the back, and now the not so cool windows are on the sides. Step 196. In this step we are supposed to use 3 of these 1x1 plates in black, but I can only see where to place 2 of them. I have no idea where the third one belongs to. So when we have a look at our build here, the first plate sits between these clips here, and the second plate sits underneath this slope here. So 1, 2. But there is no third one. Very strange. Step 204. In this step we have to do something which I've never been a fan of. So we have created this little crane here, and of course our crane wants to raise stuff, and that it can do it, it needs this thread here. I have already put the thread in the right position, so I have put it through all these bricks here. And well, now we have to knot everything together so that we can combine the bricks with the thread. I never like doing this because it's not so easy to open the knots again. And I remember from all my Lego bricks as a kid that I always had these threads still attached to some of those bricks, and I couldn't get rid of them again without destroying the thread. When you do knots and undo them too often, this will break the thread a bit if you don't pay too much attention. And so I really don't love to do this, but I don't see any other solution, so I have to. Step 234. We have built the first mast so far, and now it is time to attach the first of the sails. And yeah, I have done this, and it wasn't too difficult. It's quite self-explanatory, but when we have a look at the image here in the instructions, I think this isn't clearly visible how the sails are attached to the mast. It's difficult to see here where the connection is. It's a bit easier to see down here, but on the top end it isn't really visible. I have placed sails with Lego sets, so I know how to do it. But I think the instructions could be a bit clearer here. Step 236. So we have attached now the second sail to the first mast and placed the whole thing just here. And now in the next step, 237, we have to place these things here. You know, these kind of ladders on which the pirates can climb up the mast to set the sails. When we have a look at the instructions, we can see that the sails have disappeared again. But I don't think we have to detach the sails again. It's just done in the instructions to have a better visibility. I think we just can place those things here with still having the sails in place. So we have to use this clip up here and these two clips down here, and this should be no problem, I think. Step 277. The build is complete. And it's quite huge. As you can see, it's more a playset than a display set. I mean, the riggage isn't too accurate, all the ropes are missing, but nonetheless I think it looks quite interesting. It's a nice ship. Also, I'm not sure how realistic it is that the pirates are that well equipped. There are so many cannons. It's the same on the other side. But as a kid, this is perfect. A lot of cannons to play with. I would have loved that. The sails are really cool. This is quite good quality and they look amazing, these red sails. Up here we can place pirates, so they have a little lookout here. Arr. There is a telescope, a gun. Yeah, here's quite a lot of loose stuff. And I'm not so much a fan of all this loose stuff. I prefer when it's interlocked, so it won't fall apart if you carry it around, but alright, I won't complain. Have a look at the front here. I really love this figurehead. The head itself looks just funny. And the boobs, it's very cool. There are different techniques how the sails are attached to the mast. So we got these little balls here. That's very common. We see this also in Lego sets. But there's a second method. So here you can see we put this sail on a bar and then we stop the whole thing from falling out again with this 1x1 round plate with hollow stud. This is also done down here. But all the other connections are done with these balls here, these technic things, I guess. Alright, well, let's have a look at the ship. Down here, or better said up here, above the captain's cabin, we got the steering wheel, the smaller cannons, light, and a lot of loose stuff. And here this treasure chest, which is still empty. So the pirates Haven't entered other ships right now, I guess, so far. As you can see here, there's also this cannon on the deck, and yeah, this thing here, this little stick, with the help of which you can push the cannonballs inside the cannon, I guess. Down here we see cannonballs, a light on the barrel, more guns, with rifles. And there's a lot of stuff lying around on this ship. I like how the ship's plank is stored away. So you can just take it out and place it here. So now you can enter other ships, go back on land if you are in a harbor, or yeah, do the typical pirate stuff and torture some people by sending them off the plank. Here we got our little crane, and we can lower the hook here with the help of this winch here. You can see we can pull it back up again. I think it's also used to remove this part here so that we can put stuff below deck. All the gun ports can be closed. I don't know if I can open them again. Yeah, we will have to do this when we have a look below deck. Oh, here's the anchor. Actually, it's stored like this. And we can drop it down, and then here is another winch with the help of which we can lower the anchor chain. Yeah, it works quite well. Now let's get it back on board again. And then we can attach it back here on this little hook, like this. Here are all these ladders, which the pirates use to get up on the mast and set the sails. We got some flags up here. Of course, they are black. Sadly, there isn't the Jolly Roger, I think it's called, the pirate skull on this flag, but well, if you want to have that too, you can use one of the Lego pieces. Alright, then I would say let's remove the masts and have a look below deck. I can't do this with just one hand, but normally we just have to pull here like this and also on this side at the same time, and then the whole thing will go off. So I just have removed the part with the sails. Let's put this away for a second. And then we can have a better look at the ship again, at the interior.
So you can see that there are really a lot of cannons placed here. More loose stuff. Down here, I guess it's the ship cook's empire. And yeah, that's the battle deck, I would say. What I don't like so much is that all those cannons are loose, so if you play too wild, they might fall out of place. For example, this one here. Oh yeah, I lost something here. Where does this go? Here, I think, yeah. I didn't have any problems with the clutch power. That's quite cool. No missing parts, no problems with the clutch power. The bricks aren't the nicest to look at, but they work perfectly fine. As you can see here, we also got a lot of cannonballs. And of course, all the cannons are in working condition. So we can pull here, and when we have placed one of the cannonballs inside the cannon, when we have loaded it, we just can fire it away by this little mechanism here. It's one of those things which is really not easy to do with just one hand, but I have to hold the camera, so you can see that I can pull it, and then when I release it, the cannonball will fly through your whole room, and you will have to look for it quite a while, I fear. From this side, we can have a look at the entry to the captain's cabin. You can see here we got this door which we can open. And yeah, I would say let's have a look how the captain's cabin looks like. To do this, we once again can remove something. I think, yeah, it's possible with just one hand. And here you see that the captain got quite some treasure. And here's his treasure chest. There's more gold everywhere. I think he did a good job in pirating. A little desk. As I said before, the windows here, at least the ones I placed on the sides, aren't the best because when you don't pay attention, they don't stay closed. 2 of those windows were perfectly fine, but 4 of them are a bit annoying. They love to open from alone. One thing which annoys me a bit about the captain's cabin is his bed, the captain's bed. It looks absolutely neat. It's really cool done, but it's way too small. Here we got a minifigure. And when I lay him on his bed, you can see that the guy is way too big. He will have to stick his head out of the window so that he can lie on his bed without any problems. Below the captain's cabin, there is a little jail. I'm not quite sure if I can also remove the cabin itself. Yeah, we can do this without any problem. That's cool. And then you can see the jail here. There are the skeleton parts, these bones, some chains. Yeah, it's quite fun. Well, for the pirates, not for the prisoner. But I think this also isn't that realistic. I mean, the ship isn't that big, and the jail takes away quite a lot of space. Well, who knows? I have no knowledge about pirates and ships, so maybe they really thought it was important to have this kind of space. Alright, then just let me put together everything again.
Okay, I have reassembled the pirate ship and I did put it on the floor because I needed a bit more space. As you can see, I put it next to the other Pirate Island sets. And I think this ship is really a great addition to this island. I still prefer the Governor's Island. It looks a bit cooler, at least in my eyes. But I think the Brig here is the best set so far of the Pirates Island.